Welcome to this very quick announcement before the start of this video. So I'm planning on doing a ranking every historical Total War title from best to worst in the near future. And to stay unique, I want to have the community's input. So there's currently a 1-question survey down below. Just click on that link, put the titles that you think are the best at the top, the worst at the bottom, as you vote, and yeah, your results will be used in the video. It has taken 5 episodes, going over the last 220 turns, and now we're at the final episode. 80 turns left, 1 more episode. Who is going to take the win? So far, I believe it's Denmark who is leading, but any nation right now, I think, could possibly take all of them. The Polish, the Timurids, Milan, even Russia, maybe even a Hungarian comeback, who knows, but it's certainly not over yet. Let's start.
The Holy Bible
Starting this episode, we have a crusade for Constantinople, called by the Pope. So yeah, it was once Hungary, that was once a power that was here, and once a crusade was called on them, everything from collapsed. Whether it was because of a crusade or not, who really knows? It's difficult to tell. But they collapsed basically a few turns after the crusade, and now one has been called onto the great Venetians. Is it Venice's turn to collapse? Also, Denmark is expanding and trying to take this former French settlement here, Dijon, and it seems like Venice is yet again trying to take Milan's capital, Milan. And of course there's diplomacy. So yeah, some factions have already joined the crusade, the Pope and England. Will the Venetians be able to hold? Will Milan be able to hold as well? This is going to be quite a big settlement for them to lose if they do. More factions join the crusade, and some alliances and stuff, but what's important is that a jihad has been called for Baghdad. So that's going to be the Egyptians, or what's left of them, and the Moors who are going to go for this. Oh yeah, the Mongols and the Timurids can go for it as well. I think the Mongols will take it because they're closest, but they might come into conflict with some of the Timurids. Egypt's reasonably close as well. Yeah, we're going to see a struggle for Baghdad soon. Oh, Milan held off there, pushed back Venice. That wasn't good for Venice. They kind of need some more settlements, especially some rich northern Italian settlements, those will definitely help. The Portuguese and the Moors are at war. Finally, I think this is the first war declared between these two. We've got a crusading army in Lisbon, which is probably done to set off soon, but they kind of need that army here to deal with the Moors. And Edinburgh has finally fallen to the English. England now 1 settlement away from taking the entire British Isles and everything. Yeah, and where will they go next? That could cause a few problems for Denmark, because if they get a power all of a sudden, like attacking them in northern France or in Scandinavia, then yeah, they could actually lose enough settlements here to cost them the entire game. Seems like the Mongols put it under siege first. However, the Timurids are very close by. The Timurids have the troops right now to be able to knock out this Mongolian army and also take the settlement, so it's going to be interesting to see what they actually do. And the Mongols took it and the Timurids pulled away. Well done to the Mongols. Are the Mongols at war with the Timurids or not? Are they allied with the Timurids? Oh, nope, they're vassal of the Timurids. Okay, now that's interesting. That explains why they didn't attack. But you know, if your vassal gets too strong, and Baghdad and Mosul will be 2 big settlements for the Mongols, then maybe the Timurids might be getting a little bit worried. Might have to bring them down. A Danish crusading army has reached Constantinople. They've got the troops to take it, but whether they'll attack this turn or not, who knows. Denmark all of a sudden looking very powerful. They've got Constantinople now as a foothold over here, and yeah, they took Dijon as well. They're looking really good, especially on the map if we just zoom in here. Yeah, they're the big power right now. The only other powers that are in Europe and could challenge them, I think, is the Spanish and the Polish, but not on their own. If they unite to take them down, then they could do it. But alone, I think Denmark will be able to destroy them. Milan has lost most of its former strength. Yeah, they're down to the final 5 settlements. apart from Africa. Actually, they've got 7 settlements, so they're still kind of in it. But, you know, once Denmark starts coming for them, then they're just going to go. Spain coming for them as well. The Portuguese, I think, attacked them over here not too long ago. Venice is interested in their capital. It's not looking good for Milan, but they've still got 7 settlements. The Papal States expanding and taking more of Greece. Thessalonica has fallen. Really not looking good for Venice right now. They've lost 2 settlements. And yeah, all of a sudden their empire's a little bit unstable. They still have, like, you know, footholds in Egypt, and they've got the Crimea as well, so they're everywhere. It's going to be difficult to wipe them completely, but I think this faction now, I think it's safe to say, they're out of the question. They're not going to win at the end. I think they've done enough damage to them. Maybe they might make a comeback, but after seeing these 2 settlements fall, I highly doubt it. And seeing how separated they are as well with these 2 settlements, yeah, not good. Well done, England. As soon as they took all these settlements here, they immediately landed in Belgium and took Bruges from the Danish. That's a big blow for the Danish, and if they start losing more settlements across this coast, then they won't be the strongest power anymore if they start losing some more settlements to the English. So the English, not too much of a powerful faction because they're on their own island and completely surrounded by a massive Danish navy. They've just got all of England blockaded, but you know, if they can get some troops down here, then they have a potential to cause a lot of damage for Denmark. Also, the Papal States has expanded and taken Durazzo, and now they have all of modern day Greece. Where are they going to go next? Denmark was not quite happy about losing Bruges, and they came for their revenge. Yes, sorry England, but you no longer own all this. You've lost Edinburgh to the Danish. That's unfortunate for the English. But well done by Denmark for really striking the English at home rather than playing on the defensive. I'm sure they'll bring the troops eventually to take this settlement back, but for now they're actually taking parts of Scotland, which is interesting to see. Yeah, well done to both factions in a way. Both had some good plays. What is it with the Pope and Constantinople? A 3rd crusade has been called for Constantinople on Denmark. So yeah, the first crusade for Constantinople destroyed the Hungarians. The second destroyed the Venetians. Can the third destroy the current most powerful nation in the game, Denmark? I don't know. If they send the troops for Constantinople, the loss of Constantinople for Denmark is nothing. But that shows they're excommunicated, so if the Christian powers start uniting and taking some land from them in Northern Europe, then that could become a different story. Yeah, we could see Denmark really start to struggle soon. Maybe the Polish might take the place. Oh, that'll be interesting. Poland, Sicily, Spain, and the HRE have already joined the crusade. 2 of these that are interesting to note is Spain and Poland have united against Denmark, which is something I said earlier. United, I said they could do it, or at least I thought they could. Milan has Rene under siege. The Polish could quite easily get some troops onto this front, I think. Are we about to see the downfall of the Danish? We've got the English here as well, bringing a full stack army, and Edinburgh has fallen to the English. Denmark, you're going to change a little bit, I think, with borders. Having all these wars might help them. They might expand further, but I doubt it. I can imagine Denmark completely crumbling under all this. Who's going to take their place? I think Poland could, but we can't rule out the Spanish. I think they could do it also. Maybe even Milan. If I take this as well, join the Empire by reclaiming this land, Milan is all of a sudden a completely different faction. And if I take Marseille as well from the Spanish, sorry, then again that's going to be good for them. Novgorod has fallen to the Polish, and the Timurids push up north. Russia all of a sudden in a bad spot again. They keep getting into a bad spot, but they reclaim it. But now with the Timurids, the Timurids have taken Bulgar as well. Now with the Timurids involved, I think this is the end of Russia. They're going to lose Riga eventually. The Timurids had done a swoop round and probably eventually take Ryzen, and then it's just a matter of time for these other two settlements to fall. Milan did take Rene from the Danish. Denmark so far, they seem to be holding on. How are they looking down here? Yeah, they're still holding on for now, but you know that the Polish crusading army is arriving. Can they do it? Actually, Poland, you don't want Constantinople, because as soon as you take it, the chances are the Pope is going to call a crusade on you, and then, and then you're going to collapse. It's like the Pope is just going to call crusades repeatedly over and over again to see until a faction that he wants to take it wins. It's like doing a vote over and over again until you win. Oh, I feel so sorry for you, Poland. They've taken Constantinople. So you know what's going to happen? 3 turns, a crusade, and in another 3 turns, Poland wiped off the map. Or at least that's what I expect to happen, if history tells us anything. Right, they're allied with the Pope, so that's a good sign for them for now. Like, they knew what was coming. The Danish front still looking reasonably strong. It looks like they might take Magdeburg soon. They don't have really any troops around Druid, so yeah, it doesn't look like they're taking that anytime soon. But Milan, oh, I've taken Cain from the Danish. Milan building their own separate empire up here. I like what they're doing. Where's Spain gonna go? Are they gonna go for Milan? Looks like they're really interested in Northern Italy. Oh, Venice fell to the HRE. And the Papal States took that. Ooh. There's another faction we can't rule out. The Papal States. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 settlements right now. Yeah, 7. You know, it's nothing yet, but if they take a few more, then there'll definitely be a power that we'll be keeping an eye on. Imagine the Pope wins after all. Byzantium, a faction, if I'm being honest, I thought was dead. I forgot they had Cyprus up here, but yeah, I thought they were dead. But no, they've come down with another army and they've taken Gaza, so yeah, Byzantium lives on. Meanwhile, Thessalonica rebels, and the Danish cut through Poland, taking Magdeburg and Breslau. They could quite easily walk into Prague as well. I'm starting to think it's got nothing to do with Crusades. I'm starting to think Constantinople is just cursed. The curse of Constantinople. That's what I'm calling it. I'm sure this settlement is cursed. It's like it's destroyed Hungary now. Hungary, well, actually Byzantium of course fell. They owned it. And then the Hungarians took it, they fell. Then Venice took it, they fell. What is he doing? No idea, whatever. And then the Polish took it. Well, the Danish took it then, and they fell. And the Polish have, well, kind of fell. They lost a lot of land actually in northern France. They lost about 4 settlements, and now the Polish have it, and they're crumbling. So whoever takes, you know, that's 5 factions that has crumbled as soon as they take Constantinople. It's cursed. Who's going to be the next faction to pick up the curse? Probably the Timurids. Yeah, they're wanting to get into a bit of this curse. They're doomed.
The Holy Bible
A crusade for Cairo. This is actually where the first crusade started, and it was, I think, Venice took it, so yeah. They're still actually alive down here at Venice, in Dongola. So all the way from that first crusade when they took this settlement here, they're still alive. The Timurids, of course, expanding even further. They've taken Jeddah now, Gaza, and Crimea. And they've definitely got the troops to take Constantinople, but I advise against it. Oh, Hungary, do you really want to have Constantinople again? It didn't do well for you last time, and it's not going to help you out this time. Just give up on it. Go for Poland instead. They currently had the curse, but the curse for Poland right now has been lifted because they no longer have Constantinople. So yeah, Poland going to be able to fight back. Oh, they could actually. Nah, they don't have the troops there. And of course the Timurids have taken Alexandria. And yeah, that's about it. Timurids right now looking very powerful in the east. Will it be enough to match Denmark? Right now, I think Timurids have the lead, but if Denmark can regain some territory, then yeah, I think Denmark can still do it. I think Spain can still do it as well if they actually take the Moors down, but they don't seem interested. Yes, Spain had so much potential, and then all of a sudden they've gone on this weird peace campaign. It's like Milan. They started off with loads of allies. They were the peace campaign faction at the start. Then they went really aggressive, and then they had so much potential, and then they just went to peace and then crumbled. Pointless waste of time. Since I last spoke, the Polish have only lost 2 settlements. But it looks like so much more. They're all of a sudden like cut off into 3 different empires. It's not looking good for Poland. Denmark, of course. All what happened was Denmark took. Where was it? I think it was. Yeah, Denmark took Prague, and Hungary took Thorn. And yeah, all of a sudden they looked really weak. They're difficult to spot on the map all of a sudden. But they're still alive, and I think it's safe to say now that Poland are out of it. The factions that I think are still in for a chance of winning in the next 20 turns, I think Timurids and Denmark, definitely. Maybe the Papal States, maybe Spain. Then again, maybe even England as well. Yeah, I think those other 4 factions I think can still do it. The rest, I'm not that confident with. And out of those, the Timurids right now are definitely my favourite. They've taken Ryazan and Moscow. Well done to the Timurids. And they're taking Smolensk as well, probably. So that would, if they take this, that would leave Russia down with only 1 settlement left. Not looking good for Russia, but looking very good for the Timurids. But then the Polish, sorry, they will have the Timurids at the back. And that's not what they want. When they're fighting Hungary and Denmark over here, and the HRE as well, it looks like the HRE are trying to make a comeback and take Vienna. They don't want the Timurids stabbing them in the back as well. Smolensk does fall to the Russians, but the Danish are not going down without a fight. They're taking more territory off Milan, and still I think pushing, well, I can't see them pushing into Poland, but you know, they've taken Bern, and they're trying to take Staufen as well, so they're not going down without a fight. And as expected, the Timurids immediately go to war with the Polish. Bye bye Poland, you were a fun faction, it was nice knowing you, yeah, but goodbye, and I hope to see you in the next time we do this. Goodbye Poland. The Timurids immediately eat their Ukrainian territory by taking Kiev, and the English, however, they're striking against the Danish. They took Paris. That's quite a big blow for Denmark, and now it's cut them into 2 as well. Not good. Out of what seems like desperation at this point, the Moors have finally done something. Of course they took Sardinia, but that don't really count. They have taken Lisbon from the Portuguese, leaving Portugal down to their final settlement. Well done Moors for finally doing something. It took 291 turns until you made... Actually, I think this is the first bit of real progress done by an Iberian faction in Iberia. And it took 291 turns. Oh, finally. The current territorial ranking is looking very heavily in favour of the Timurids. Vassals also count as well, so the Timurids actually get these 3 nations here, so that's plus 5 settlements onto their name. So the Timurids right now at 23 plus 5, so 28. Denmark at about 19 or... yeah, about 19. Of course, you know, vassals count, so this could completely change next turn. If Mongols break away from the Timurids next turn, and I don't know, Denmark vassalizes Milan, then all of a sudden Denmark could just take the lead, and the Timurids go into 2nd place, so it's not over yet. There's still chance. I know there's like quite a big gap of, overall, here it's about 6 settlements, overall it's going to be like 10 settlements or something. But yeah, it's not over, because if some of these vassals change hands, then boom, completely different story. 3, 2, 1. And here we are at the end. I hope you've enjoyed this series. We're 300 turns in now. The Danish, one desperate push at the end, taking Milanese territory and Toulouse as well from the Spanish. They retook Paris as well, so you know, if they vassalize a nation as well, then who knows. So let's very quickly check the diplomacy to start off with. You can see it all here. Sadly, Milan started off with about 10 allies. They ended with only 3. They didn't get that diplomatic victory. And then where's Denmark? Denmark here, they've got no vassals. And the Timurids, do they still have 3? And here we are with the stats. So overall, the Timurids, you know, they win. Military-wise, again, it's the Timurids as expected. Production, and now this is what really counts. The Timurids, with 24 settlements, plus the vassals, so that's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 settlements. 29 settlements for the Timurids. Well done to them. They came in first place. Of course, you know, they are an overpowered faction, so if someone wants to say Denmark won, then, you know, that's perfectly understandable. Denmark had a very good campaign as well. Sadly for them, the Timurids are just a very OP faction, and you know, as expected, they did well. I did not expect them to take all this Russian territory, though. I thought they'd expand a bit into Africa and then into Greece, but no, they went for Russia instead, which was weird. But still, you know, the Timurids do deserve some credit. Well done to them. I've seen them fail before. In second place, we have Denmark, with about 20 settlements, possibly 21, I don't know. Then it's England in third place. Well done, England. You got third place with territory, with 8 settlements. Yeah, well done, England. And then we have the Spanish, with 7 settlements, and the Moors with 6. Oh, and I forgot to add, the Papal States is here with 7 settlements as well, so they draw with Spain. Finance is there, and population is there. Denmark actually has the largest population. So, yeah, the winner is of course the Timurids, but, you know, big well done to Denmark as well, and all other AI-only factions. So, hope you've enjoyed this entire series. It's not over yet, of course. There's still the time-lapse and the highlights to do. I'll put all the funniest moments together. So yeah, there's still 2 more videos yet to come on this series, but the actual main part of the series is of course done. 300 turns in. This is a series idea I've been keeping in my pocket for a long time. I've been doing all the other kingdoms campaigns first as AI only, just spectating those. And yeah, this Medieval 2 vanilla big map has definitely, yeah, it's definitely done well. Got quite a good amount of views as well. So yeah, hope you definitely enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next one, which I guess now we've done Medieval 2. I guess it's now time to do Rome Total War AI only campaign. I guess that's what's coming next. And then of course Barbarian Invasion. So hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this series, then please share the series, as that does help me to grow. And the chances are, if you've made it this far into the series, you've already subscribed. But you know, if you haven't, please feel free to subscribe to keep updated with all future AI only campaigns, time lapses, and whatever it is I'm doing at the time. Goodbye.